We are now less than 3 weeks away from the priestly ordination of Deacon David Cruz and me, and things are really starting to accelerate. Hello and welcome to the Deacon Year, a weekly show about the life of at least one transitional deacon preparing to become a Catholic priest. I'm your host, Deacon Kyle, and today is Tuesday, June 2nd. That means I will be ordained in 17 days. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting when I returned home from the seminary. I thought the road trip took up a lot of my time, a lot of energy went into celebrating the installation of Bishop Daly, and I figured I would actually be able to pause a bit and rest and take stock of things, and maybe even have a better setup than what I have now. I'll show a picture. There it is. Anyway, apparently that's not been the case because for whatever reason, I guess absent the regular schedule of the seminary, things just kind of go up in the air. And in fact, I've been bouncing back and forth between my home in Pasco and Spokane, about a 2-hour drive apart. And today I am in Spokane. I'm in one of the guest rooms here at Bishop White Seminary, the seminary where I first started my formation. As I look ahead to what has to happen between now and June 19, the day of my ordination, I see a lot of things that has to happen, a lot of things that I have to do, and many of them aren't necessarily related. And so it can be kind of overwhelming. In many ways, I find myself torn between trying to make time for my family, to be present to my parents, who have already said essentially goodbye to one son. He's married now, living with his wife in the Tri-Cities, my hometown area, but preparing to leave in July for the service with the Air Force. And then my assignment begins July 1. Also, I'm still involved with ministry stuff in the diocese, in particular what's called Quo Vadis Days, this annual discernment camp for young men, high schoolers, who are interested in the priesthood. Maybe they're not necessarily called to the priesthood, but they're curious and want to know more about what that's like. And I've been involved in Quo Vadis since, I've entered seminary. And if you'd think that after 6 years of seminary, I'd finally step away from these responsibilities, but I'm still doing it. And the thing is that Quo Vadis this year takes place June 15th through the 18th. 4 days. And it ends on the 18th, ordination is on the 19th. So it means I have to get all my things in order for Quo Vadis, for the ordination, for my first masses, which I'm still working on. All that has to be done by the 15th, which really cuts out a lot of time. And in the meantime, I'm actually flying to Richmond, Virginia, back for the ordination of Deacon Matt Keel as he becomes a priest. So a lot of things to juggle, and I'm confident that things will get done, but it can be a little daunting at times. And on top of that, this past Saturday, I was informed by the bishop where he will send me, which I'll say in this diocese, in the Spokane diocese, but which parish I'll be sent to. Parishes, actually. I understand that these parishes will have a parish picnic on June 14, Sunday, and hopefully I'll be able to go down there, and I think it is then that I would like to introduce those parishes to you on this Deacon Year series. And when I heard the news, that really made things very real. It's just that I was able to finally visualize myself in these settings. I set about trying to do research on these communities. Luckily, I've been with this community before in a past summer assignment, and it's, again, the sense of excitement tied with anxiety, I suppose, this anxiety of the unknown, of all these different questions emerging, all these different scenarios, thinking, did I really consider that entirely when I was in seminary? Again, perennial questions regarding scenarios in confession, or realizing that I still have a long way to go with my Spanish skills, even though I've done a lot to improve on them for these past several years. And one thing that really got me these past few days was the sense of being an intercessor for my people. In a previous episode, I talked about the promises that I will make at my ordination, and one of them in particular, since I know who I'll be serving, really struck me. And it was what I numbered the fourth promise. Do you resolve to implore with God's mercy upon the people entrusted to your care by observing the command to pray without ceasing? And that really, struck me. I was actually able to step into our cathedral here in Spokane. I did my daytime prayer as part of the liturgy of the hours, and then I had my ordination rite with me. So I just prayed through the rite and in some way did a little run through myself. Thinking, okay, this is very likely where I will be standing at my ordination. Invested in alb and deacon stole. I will stand up here when my name is called and declare present to my bishop and to the church who's gathered there. I'll go up, I'll kneel. In this spot, I will be prostrate maybe on this spot for the litany, and I'll likely be there where I will have hands laid on me for the ordination. My hands will be anointed. I will receive the chalice and the paten. And this whole time, just thinking, this is happening within 3 weeks. And something central from that reflection was the sense that people are being entrusted to my care. And I am resolving, I am promising that I will pray for them, implore God's mercy upon them. And now that I know which parishes I'll be going to, I was able to really think about it. And the people that I met in my previous summer assignment, these are concrete, real flesh and blood people. And that just made it so much more real. So at this point, yes, 17 days. Tomorrow I will be flying out to Richmond, Virginia for Deacon Matt's ordination. There I'll see Father Jason Harris. He was ordained this past weekend in his cathedral in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm looking forward to seeing them again. So we'll have a little reunion of sorts. In the meantime, please continue to pray for us. Pray for Father Jason as he begins his priestly ministry. Pray for Deacon Matt as he's ordained this weekend. And please pray for all of us, for me, for Deacon David as we prepare for ordination, and then Deacon Will, who's ordained at the end of the month. Anyway, take care. I'll see you next week.